Hello and welcome to a brand new week. Actually, it's Tuesday, but I'm happy to see you with today's edition of JoyNews Interactive. The show is live from digital address GA0992539 in Kokomemla, Accra. You can watch the show on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. Join the conversation on Facebook and Twitter. We're JoyNews on TV.
For trying to take a snapshot and do an interview with the president. But like, seriously, hey, this thing, hey.
That's a video of JoyNews reporter Kwesi Parker Wilson after he was assaulted in the line of duty by a member of the security detail of former President John Mahama on Monday. He was slapped by the security detail, whose identity is yet to be established, and this has left the journalist visibly bruised with part of his face swollen and his right eye tearing with pain. Narrating what happened to JoyNews, Parker said he was with the former president when he was campaigning at the Pentecost University as part of his 5-day tour of the Greater Accra region. So this video that we just played was making the rounds on social media. Let's take a look at it again.
Media man gets slapped for trying to take a snapshot and do an interview with the president. But like, seriously, hey, this thing, hey.
Now, there have been varied views on social media. Let's check them out. This is not the first time a JoyNews or multimedia journalist was assaulted, but let's see if we can get what you've been saying on Facebook. Let's start with Wahab Jones, who says the journalist was assaulted in his line of duty, and I think it's right we condemn this kind of act, because the media is our mouthpiece and they bring us information which is important to us as a nation, as well as play an important role in the country's democracy. Joanne says, the media is not my mouthpiece, but just one of the means through which I get information. Okay, they're supposed to be unbiased in their reportage. Over-reliance on the media, especially in Africa, is one of the problems in our continent. They just take advantage of the lack of education of the people. We dwell more on hearsay instead of looking for facts. Most of them are sold and bought by the powers that be. They are your mouthpiece? Kweku Tete says, I don't think the NDC needs JoyNews to report their issues to the media. Okay, Wahab Jones comes to say that, do you really think it's right or fair to politicize an individual brutalization, especially a journalist? He has a family, bro. Kweku Tete comes back to say, Wahab Jones, tell the journalist that he must know boundaries. When a security officer says don't go there, just obey him. Why must he push the officer? He just got the bus slapped as a response to the push. And Wahab Jones comes in to respond and says, if that is so, then I think the journalist overstepped his boundary. But then I still stand against assault and brutality to journalists. This one is from Osei Owusu, who says, I'm reading the unfortunate comments and the endorsement of such brutal acts by people suspected to be NDC sympathizers. It's shameful. Even in opposition, you're battering journalists. What would you do when you come to power? Okay. It's just very unfortunate. Seth Nene says, you never explained what really happened before the slap, but only that you were slapped and not even able to get the name of the officer. What do you want us to do for you? Okay, let's just see if we can get more comments on that. Emmanuel Latte says, JoyNews, please be careful. These people have evil, vindictive agenda. Seriously, They're onto you from all indications. Be careful and don't say I didn't warn you. Richard says, sorry, Oga, but there are limits to everything. You don't go more than that limits. As a journalist, you should know that by passing the guideline of which the security determined is trespassing and won't be allowed. But sorry for what happened. I know the leaders of the campaign team will definitely reach out to you. Kofi Boateng says, I don't think he was just standing he's somewhere and all of a sudden he was assaulted. This here does not give a full account of what transpired that led to the so-called beating. All the same, I think it's really unfortunate that this had to happen. This one is from Owusu Kofi, who says, very unfortunate development. Sorry, I sincerely wish your news house will take that security officer on. It's been one journalist after the other. And he's asking, what happened to Lateef Idrisu? So Mahama, the former president, has said the president must apologize. The current president must apologize to Ghanaians for his ragging on his campaign promises of not engaging in borrowing. He said it was unbelievable that after lambasting his administration and promising not to borrow when elected into office, the almost 2-year-old Akufo-Addo administration seems to have borrowed even more than they did.
You understand? The problem is not that something is bad. Nobody ever said borrowing is bad. When we're in government, we never said borrowing was bad. You borrow to invest in assets. And everybody knows that. And when we're in government, we borrow to invest in assets. We build hospitals, we build roads, we build interchanges. We extended electricity, we did water, we expanded the ports. We did all those projects. It was they who said borrowing was bad. So when Ghanaians are criticizing you today, it is because of what you said in the past. It is the hypocrisy that Ghanaians are angry with. And we have all your quotations about borrowing. You say any idiot can borrow. That's what you said. You know? And you said the money is here. We don't need to borrow to develop Ghana. So today, if you have turned around and you see that, oh, you can borrow and invest in assets, the first thing you do is you apologize to Ghanaians and say, oh, we didn't know. We are sorry. Now we will borrow. But when you behave as if we are idiots, we don't remember what you said, and you say, oh, we'll borrow. Even US is borrowing. Of course, US is borrowing, so what?
Former President John Dramani Mahama there. You've been commenting on our Facebook page in regards to this. Let's see what you have been saying. Let's start with Mercy, who says, apologize first to Ghanaians for being the source of the hardship. You have no message for Ghanaians. At Raphael says, if you ever want to become president of this country again, go and borrow some credibility and integrity. That's the only way out. Kobe AG says, His Excellency Mahama, are you on a campaign trial for your party's flag bearership or your presidential campaign has started? Agnes comes in to ask, and she's asking, is this Mahama the ex-president or different Mahama? Well, it's the ex-president. But David says, but let's be serious. Borrowing is bad. No politician should deceive anyone. How can you spend more than you produce? What sort of economists do we have? There are listening of ways to generate revenue than borrowing. James Nana also says, Mr. Ex-President, can you tell us your message for next elections? I can see you don't have any special message for Ghanaians. And Emmanuel Achimpong says, still haven't learned any lessons from his massive defeat. Tell your people that you can do what you can do and why they should allow you to lead the party. But here, you're making unnecessary noise. John Mahama is behaving like King Saul in the Bible. Jerry Kwame says, what is bad for a nation, business or individual is reckless borrowing. Borrowing for projects, the costs of which are criminally inflated, borrowing to fund luxury rather than productivity, and borrowing to fight an election is what Nana Addo is against. Raindorf the Baron says, I don't blame Mahama anyway, I blame Baumia and his boss for spitting and taking it back. I thought Boring was a lazy man's approach to govern. Well, that's no more the case. Nana Amponsa says, so this man will not tell Ghanaians what he will do. In any case, is he competing with Nana Ado or his primary school aspirant in NDC? Hey, Mahama, hey. Hama says, come for your stone. We are suffering, Papa. And Adam Anu says, you, NDC, NPP are the same. The last comment I'm going to take is from Alex Watson, who says, NPP will borrow but will not share it into their pockets. They borrow to develop Ghana. On that note, we'll be taking a quick breather. When we come back, we're talking sanitary pads and the tax on them. You don't want to miss it. You're still watching JoyNews Interactive with me, Mapita CBD. Now, a post has been making the rounds on social media. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, so it says condoms should be for sale, pads should be for free. Sex is a choice, but menstruation is not. Some young girls are really struggling. So that's the post, and we posted it on our social media page. We'll be getting some of your Facebook comments. But a backstory on this is that in 2004, Kenya was the first country in the world to eliminate taxes on tampons. And in 2011, Kenyan officials eliminated an import duty on sanitary pads and began setting aside $3 million per year to provide free pads to schools in low-income communities. And Tanzania, in June 2018, they went ahead and exempted sanitary towels from value-added tax. This came alongside other tax reductions and exemptions designed to protect manufacturers and consumers. South Africa recently joined a growing number of countries that have zero tax on sanitary pads. It has joined the ranks of Canada, Nigeria, Tanzania, Australia, Lebanon, India, and Kenya, who do not tax sanitary pads. Last week, the newly appointed finance minister announced that sanitary pads, among other items, will be made a zero tax item as of 1st April 2019. Now, here in Ghana, a child and family focused organization is JoyNews is asking the government to remove the 20% import tax on sanitary towels in order to make that essential product available and affordable for all girls, regardless of their socio-economic backgrounds. On Skype, joining me on Skype is Awa Ayedam, Executive Director of JoyNews. All right, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my people.
All right, I'm sure you've seen the post. And you've been fighting for this for a very long time. Just tell me your thoughts on this.
Yes, I saw the post 2 days ago. It was exciting to see something like that come from a man. And it's not about the pad and the condoms.
Mm-hmm.
But the underlying principle that if a man gets something with and using it to engage in an action which is not or by choice.
All right.
What is the point?
Can you speak up for me a bit?
For a girl. What's the point in making something which is natural and cannot prevent from happening to her? That the harmonized system which the revenue uses to tax products has the sanitary pad in the category, which we feel is unfair to girls. And if anyone wish to challenge, I could put out the harmonized of the Ghana Revenue Authority for themselves, which is 961-900-2900. When you go into that, you see that there's 20 sanitary pad. So just as your intern said, sanitary pads are free in some countries, and some countries zero tax. So why don't we do the same for girls and get gender equality agenda going so well? We find it hypocritical not to have the slogan we are promoting for men and women. We want to achieve gender and all that. I mean, it doesn't happen. These are fundamental things.
So how far with the fight here in Ghana? Are we making any progress?
The fight is... Yeah, I think we're making... Because hitherto, people didn't know that there is... But now almost everyone needs to understand that there is a tax component which makes it expensive. So I'm sure the next public call that will get support of people to accept that the tax is taken off or should be made zero tax. Then when we actually go by calling for the provision of the product of fee, as far as girls of age.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that is all time will allow us, and I hope we can continue this and just focus on this debate. But we asked you on the streets of Accra about your thoughts on this post, and this is what you had to say.
Yes, I support the call entirely because sex is an option. Sex is a choice, but menstruation is not a choice. If you want to have sex, you should be ready to bear the cost of buying a condom for yourself. But for the ladies who do menstruation, I mean, you cannot choose whether to menstruate or not. And then some are disadvantaged, they don't have the means to get these the pads or everything. So those should go for free. But then if you want to have sex, if you are ready to have sex, then you should be ready to buy condoms and then satisfy yourself sexually.
Okay. So with condoms being sold, I think it's a very good idea, which will actually promote chastity. Even if the prices could be increased a bit, I'll be very happy with that. But with sanitary pads, even though it's good, it doesn't sound so good to my ears. So I'd rather be happy if the price could be reduced a bit, since it's a necessity and we can't go without it. By the condoms, I support it.
No, I don't accept it, and I don't agree with it. One, when you meet somebody of the opposite sex, there's no immediate cause of going to check for HIV status or something. You both agree to have sex at the moment. If condoms are to be sold, I don't think it's going to be advisable. Diseases are going to spread whole lots. So I think the condom should be given out for free and the sanitary pads should be sold.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, sanitary pads should be made available to each and every young girl because most people cannot purchase, especially the underprivileged ones. But with the condoms, I think the people who engage in sexual activity are matured enough, so they should be able to cater for that. Yeah.
Some of your views there. Now let's go to our social media page. Yebo Solomon says, if governments can bear the cost, I'm okay with it, and the distribution should be selective. Ladies from deprived areas and poor homes should be the beneficiaries. Eugene Kofi says, why do you have to? Okay. Waja Osman Rector says, fantastic idea, but this, like the free SHS, should not be made to cover every Ghanaian child. There are girls whose parents can afford this and many of their basic needs. So the government, through the GES and assembly members, should identify girls whose parents cannot afford pads for them and do that for these girls in question. Nakata Ernest says, okay. Let's go to Boache Augustine, who says, it's a nice initiative. To be the guys who can't control our flap or zip will get professional mechanism. Okay, Michael Lawyer says, what was your position on this when President Mahama brought that idea in 2016? Cyrus GH says, yet the government was chastised heavily for giving out sanitary pads to female students as a component of a loan contracted. Okay. Let's see if we can get more comments on that. Che Dede Thomas says, yeah, I think so, but will our style of politics make this work? Edward Miller says, the girls are more than the boys, so our taxes alone cannot use for free pads. That person should give 20 billion to support first or 50 billion bonds. All right, Honorable says, good idea, but it cannot be practiced in this type of Ghana. Create jobs for them or their parents and see if they can't afford. Prince says, well, if sex is a choice, then giving birth is also a choice. So people must give birth to numbers they can take care of. Godfred Turkson says, food, I guess, should be free too. I like the idea, but please argue your points without comparing to other needs. All right, interesting comments we're getting there. Let me take a few more. Papa Wonky says, the cost of treating STDs is far expensive than pads. After all, before pads, ladies were still menstruating, so what is the point? So it seems like a lot of people who are commenting don't understand the point of the post. We're not saying that condoms should be free, but we're saying is that there are a lot of ladies who cannot afford pads. And if they cannot afford pads, it would be wise if government gives pads or at least exempts tax. Do you understand? So it's not just saying that, okay, condoms should be sold and pads should be free. We're just saying that condom and having sex is a choice. You want to have sex. Periods, I have periods every month. So it's not that I have a choice. And if I can't afford it, it makes it very difficult. Some schoolgirls don't go to school because they're menstruating and they're afraid what teachers and what the boys at school will say because they can't afford to have the pads. But on that note, that'll be all from me and the JoyNews Interactive team. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed. Remember, the conversation continues on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're JoyNews on TV.